Right, hello everybody. How are we all doing in these difficult times? Well, I've been locked down and it's driving me nuts because I can't get out. I'm a bit of a free spirit, so I'm finding things to do and to catch up with. I expect that's what we're all doing. So I just feel inspired to talk about sound. I haven't got really a funny story at the moment, but I probably could find one. But this came to me that sound is very, very healing, and personally, I have found it so in my own life, especially recently. I've been sitting here for quite a long time, listening to music on the internet. So a little bit of a background. It's not a subject I'm very au fait with, but there are people who specialise in sound healing, and it's measured in hertz. I think HZ. I don't quite know what that stands for, but everything is sound and a frequency, and we ourselves are all composed of sound. Some sound you can't hear. Every organ in the body apparently is sound, and it is interesting to think that when we're healing ourselves with speaking or singing or whatever, we are actually healing the cells in our bodies. Master Peter says that, one of my favourite masters, the musician. He says, if a person can sing, they are made well. And it's true. I mean, we all know if we hear a certain song that brings a good memory, we sort of go back into that time and have a good time with it, or we feel sad. I mean, I was listening to some Bach this morning. It's my favourite composers, and I used to listen to it on my car radio when I was driving down from where I live now in Lincolnshire down to see my daughter in Bath, and I just burst into tears because I had such a good time seeing her and driving down, and the music just triggered it off. So today's a little bit of a background about sound and what it can do. I mean, animals can hear sounds that we can't hear, very deep sounds, and on the opposite end of the scale are some very high-pitched sounds that would probably destroy our ears if we could hear them. But I mean, I don't know if anyone has actually heard the music of the spheres. Absolutely beautiful. When I was taking knowledge with Maharaji, I didn't see light, but I did hear the sound of the spheres, and I've never forgotten it. You couldn't describe it. It's music, but it's just hits the very soul, of course, you know. So I'm just talking a bit about healing, and there's so many all composers are using sound in their own way, but I particularly like organ music, and some of the organ music that's been composed is phenomenal, particularly Bach and Beethoven, and it's just wonderful. You can almost hear it doing you good. So yeah, but Bach apparently used to use maths in his writing, very sort of mathematical, and people who know his music and dissect it can work out there are lots of formulas built into the background of his music, and he was very sort of clear and logical. Well, you've got Beethoven, which is much more emotional, and Mozart, three great German masters really, and I wonder if they came at a certain time to bring music, because when you think about it, the notes come from somewhere to be made practical. Musicians can read them and to make them into something else, and it's still there even though the musicians aren't. It's a bit like a video, I guess. Once the person's gone, it's still in the atmosphere, so music is all around us all the time, and you know, buzzing bees and rustling leaves, and sound is in everything. And I think we now have much more time to go out into fresh air and listen to the sounds of nature. I walked past some daffodils yesterday. They were absolutely beautiful, and I wouldn't say they were talking to me, but I definitely felt kind of a resonance with them. You know, there was an energy between us. Sounds silly, doesn't it? But it wasn't sound, it was just something else. So we've got all these great composers, and remember, I mean, the walls of Jericho, and they fell down, and apparently trumpeters were walking around the outside trumpeting. And the sound was so reverberated so strongly, it actually caused the walls to fall down. And of course, we do know that singing a top C could smash a glass. So, and opera singers, I mean, some of the notes the human voice can reach are quite amazing. Anyway, I'm leading up to say that I've found some fantastic websites. I expect you've heard of the Arcturians. Well, they're one of my favourite I got cultures, deities, I don't know, they're very, very high, nice dimensional beings. They're absolutely amazing. And like all extra dimensionals, if you know, they are here to help us out this time. And Arcturians particularly, there's a website, I forget what it's called, but it's called Arcturian Healing Sounds. And the man that does them, he's amazing. I mean, some of the sounds that he creates with the graphics, beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Some I like, some I'm not so keen on, but where he gets the sounds from, I don't know. But these beings are specialising in sound, and I know that physically I have been healed physically, mentally and emotionally. You know, there's some of the websites will deal with physical bodies, certain parts of the body, and if you tune in you can almost feel the energy, you know, liver, spleen, bladder. And I wouldn't say, I can't say it's a cure-all, because obviously that's up to the medical profession, but I think this is an additive to. I had a strange experience when I was listening to the small intestine. I think it's Wishbee, they're called Wishbee, and they have all different choices, and you just got to think, what do I need? I probably need all of them at my age, but anyway. So I chose the small intestine, one of my problems, and just listened to it for they're about 20 minutes to half an hour. And you know, that night in bed I had the most almighty pain in my foot. Now I do go for reflexology, I agree with it, I think it's wonderful. Every part of the body ends in the foot. And so this pain, I thought, gosh, where is that pain related? What's it relating to? So I looked up my reflexology list, and it was exactly in the spot for the small intestine. I find that quite incredible. So the sound does hit the body, and it can, I think, rearrange the molecular structure. I don't quite know how it works. And of course, Master Peter with the panurhythmic dancing, he does the chakras. They all have a sound, and it is quite a remarkable subject, really. I love it, and I have used it in my healing practice with making sounds for people to bring them into a different. It almost brings you into a different dimension, a different vibration. It really is quite remarkable. I'm not sure what else I could say about it. Gosh, there's lots really. Yeah, so to check on. Oh yes, I did find. This is what set me off. By mistake, by chance, you know how you look through the internet, and I found the street pianos, the street musicians. Fantastic. A piano is left. I don't know how it doesn't get destroyed, but it's left in a certain, you know, an airport or an airport lounge, or even on the street, and anyone can come along and play. I mean, I was sitting here mesmerised with these musicians. I mean, obviously some of them are very special and specialised and expert, so forth, professional. But there was a lot of kids, you know, some of the Chinese children, especially 7 or 8 years old, playing Mozart, Beethoven. I mean, this is not just classical stuff, some jazz musicians. I mean, and there's sometimes two or three of them, or two of them on a piano, sort of having little competitions. And it just brings a smile to your face. It's so joyful to see them having such fun and bringing such joy. People stand around watching and they all clap afterwards, you know. So that's my newest thing. When I get very down, come in and find some sort of street musician playing a piano. It really is worth watching, so do check it out. You've got, oh yes, Peter Scott. Now he's a chap I found recently who plays the organ. I mean, it's a miracle. If you watch somebody playing the organ, you get sometimes four levels of keys, plus they use their feet. There's pedals on the ground as well, and his hands, well, you know how quickly they work, and his feet are going at the same time. I think and without music, I mean, just to watch him is so joyful. And he's got a website, so Peter Scott, and check out the classics, but also the jazz, whatever suits you really. It's all well worth watching, and at this time we do need some joy, and it will balance you out, bring things back into harmony, and make you cry sometimes, get rid of the tension and the emotions, and it's an all round. It's an all-round healer, so do check it out, dear ones. I'll find a funny story for you next time, hopefully. Oh, it's a lovely day here, and I would love to take my car out for a drive. I'm not sure I'd be allowed. We've got some quite nice fresh fields around here I'd like to go to. Have to wait and see. Anyway, take care, and just keep positive, you know. I expect you know about mantras and things like that. Prana, apana, Sushumna Hari. Prana, apana, Sushumna Hari. Hari ha, hari ha, hari ha, hari. There's some on the website sings it beautifully, and we can sing it to ourselves, and it does shift energy, I know for a fact. Gosh, 10 minutes have gone already. Well, take care, dear ones. God bless. Love you lots. Bye bye.